Good afternoon and welcome to today's Clergy check-in for Monday, November 9th. The Torah portion this Shabbat is called Chayei Sarah, literally the life of Sarah. Yet interestingly, it opens with the fact that she has died and Abram goes ahead and tries to find a proper burial place for her. What we learn from that through the rabbis is that when somebody who is truly righteous dies, even in death, they are considered to be alive because of the legacy they leave behind. And indeed, Sarah was instrumental in terms of Isaac's upbringing, ensuring that Hagar was exiled, however painful that is for us to think about, but to make certain that Ishmael was not going to gain his father's favor and replace Isaac, whom God had determined would be the patriarch following Abraham. And so we learn from this that throughout our lives too, people are considered alive even when they're no longer with us, as we remember them and as we continue their legacy. When we recite Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, we do that on the anniversary of the death. And yet, when we think about that person, we don't think about the day they died, but we think about the gifts and the legacies they have bequeathed to us. And therefore they are alive, and that's why we praise God in that word of Kaddish. And so as we approach Veterans Day this week, let us also think of the legacy of those who fought for our country throughout the generations, those who gave of their lives literally, and those who sacrificed much to maintain freedom in our country. And as the election has just concluded, we are ever mindful of that American tradition and legacy that we hold so dear. And I think on one level we get it wrong, and Israel has gotten it right. In Israel, as I'm sure many of you know, Yom HaAtzmaut, Independence Day, is preceded by Yom HaZikaron, by a day of memory and memorial, as Israel remembers all of those who sacrificed themselves in bringing about that nation to statehood and sustaining it throughout the decades. Would that our 4th of July were more than just picnics and barbecues in the time when we could still have picnics and barbecues, but that it was truly linked to a time of memory, giving gratitude and thanks to those who sacrificed so much for us to be where we are today. And so as we will read Chayei Sarah this coming weekend, to be able to think about those in our own lives whose legacy we carry, who forever will be alive and living in our hearts and in our deeds. Have a good and safe day.